Election year, look at the billboards, they're extraordinary here tonight. And by the way, next week here on the show, backbenders, a couple of new candidates. So we've got Hayley Holt from the Greens, and she's going to be on that side of the bench this time. And I think that Willie Jackson as well, as a first-time candidate for Labour, he's going to be in the show as well, so it should be a big one. Charlotte took to the streets of Wellington and asked this question.
What do you think of a new 10,000-seat stadium in Wellington? Do we need one?
Possibly.
I don't think it's necessary. I think there are a lot bigger problems to focus on, such as the flooding situation.
I really genuinely don't think it's big enough of an issue that we can justify spending the amount of money it would cost.
Yes, I think that would be great to attract more acts to the city.
I don't believe that we do. I'm not into huge, big grandstands.
Put a roof on the cake tin.
It would be a fun thing to have, but I feel like there's other things Wellington could value over a stadium.
I think for events like concerts and things, possibly, yes, they do.
Coming from Dunedin, where we got a stadium to do all of these things, it's not achieving the things that the people who were pro-stadium said that it would.
Who's going to pay for it? The government?
Come on, Wellington does not need a 10,000. Auckland does, Wellington, that's my opinion. Jethro Tull came here and could only fill one night. Do you need a stadium?
Yeah, I think Jethro Tull would have enjoyed it more if it was a purpose-built concert venue rather than the shed that is the TSB event centre. So I do favour the building of a purpose-built concert venue. We don't need another stadium. We need something that we can actually have where you can actually hear the music as opposed to random sounds.
All right, do we need a 10,000 rooftop stadium? Extraordinary costs.
Well, not at extraordinary cost. I mean, I would
yes,
I'd love to see one, right? I really would love to see one, but you do have to have a good business case. And if there is such a good business case, why can't you get private financing for it? That's the thing.
That sounds like a no to me. A 10,000 roofed stadium. Auckland's only got a 12,000 one. That's 1.5 million people. Should Wellington have one?
Yes, because Wellingtonians are sick of missing big gigs like Ed Sheeran, and actually we are the arts and cultural capital, and we need a venue to match that.
All right, Andy Foster. Andy Foster, does Wellington need a 10,000 roofed stadium?
Well, if we'd done what I wanted us to do when we were building the Kilburnie Event Centre, we would have had it by now. It probably would have saved us $100 million.
All right, so that's a yes?
So, no, that's not necessarily a yes. It means what we need now is a hard-headed approach to the economic benefits, the economic costs, and does it stack up.
What would you do, Andy Foster? What would you do? What would you do?
Well, you get the evidence first, then you make the decision.
Okay, all right, Charlotte.
All right, Ben Hurley, you lived in Wellington for a while. Does the city need a 10,000-seat roofed stadium?
It absolutely does. I think you're missing a lot of big gigs, and also there's a rugby league team that I support which I think need a new home after the season they've just had. So the Wellington Warriors, they're coming.
And Wallace, I've got an innovator. You know how we've got the table of innovators?
Yeah.
What do you see as the future of Wellington? Do we need another stadium down here?
Well, I'm not against a stadium, but I think the real value to the country, to this region, comes from supporting new and innovative businesses. So
a stadium is a business, isn't it?
well, sure, but it's going to employ a small amount of people, and
Do you mean like an innovation centre?
Yes, we should be doing everything we can to support new businesses forming in the city because they're going to bring more employment and more investment into the city.
Interesting. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thanks for that. Okay, into innovation.
We just had some coalition talks.
Yeah, what's that?
We all agree that a concert venue where you can actually hear the music properly is what we want. So don't worry about a roof stadium. Let's get a concert venue.
And I think all four of us would be down there demolishing the TSB arena.
Really?
That would be a very cathartic project.
Such a
I want to ask, is Wellington really the Silicon Valley of Aotearoa? Nicola?
We are a hub for tech and innovation. This is where Weta is. This is where Zero is. This is the hub of creativity in New Zealand. We're going great guns.
Absolutely.
20,000 jobs in the past 2 years alone. This city is going great guns.
Do we need to do more, James?
Well, it's been turned around since John Key said that this was a dying city. And yes, we are the Silicon Valley of Aotearoa. Absolutely.
Andy?
Yeah, look, no question about that. We've got the most creative people, most people in IT, and as Nicola said, Weta, etc. Fantastic.
Yep, Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. Now,
Am I right?
oh, come on, why not? Jeez. Okay, now Charlotte, we did a massive Auckland special, and of course I'm in Auckland. Ben's based in Auckland now.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not. That's right. Rural, aren't you?
I'm rural now.
Charlotte, go around. Is Wellington City, is Wellington Central a more livable, a better city than the super city?
What do you think? Would you move to Auckland?
No, I was in Auckland a few weeks ago and the buses are terrible, so I'm going to stay here.
And that is important. What do you think? Would you move to Auckland?
Well, I'm from Auckland, so I love it.
And what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm doing uni.
And being a young nat.
And being
What do you think? Would you move to Auckland?
No, Wellington by far. It's the coolest little capital in the world.
Yeah, I love that. Nice. What do you think of Auckland?
Oh, it's okay. It's a bit big and straggly.
I quite like that idea. Awesome. What about you? Would you move to Auckland City?
No, it's a bit of a mess.
Why not?
I don't know, just been there. I didn't really like the transport. It was hard to get around. It's too big.
Aw. Too big.
Right.
Okay. What about you? Move to Auckland?
No, it doesn't have the soul and heart of Wellington, which is our capital city. And a little bite in there. You can
Come on. No. Auckland's got a lot of soul and heart. But the central rail link it was a big issue. This light rail to the airport, $700 million. Just quickly on the panel, is it a good idea? What do you reckon, Grant?
Yeah, we've got to do something. The business case has got to stack up. You've got bus rapid transit, you've got light rail. We have to choose one of them, but we need something that moves people efficiently to the airport and back.
You're a fan of it. We know that.
We've been campaigning on it for 3 decades now,
have
right?
You?
And yes,
really?
yes, we have. I first joined the Green Party in 1990. We ran on a platform of light rail from the railway station out to the airport, and if we'd built it then, it would have cost a fraction of the price.
Andy beat you, didn't he? Hang on, I didn't know that.
That may be part of the problem.
That deserves a handshake.
No.
Wow.
Wallace.
That's amazing.
The problem is that
That's
3
amazing.
decades ago it was a new policy, but it's yesterday's policy now.
Here's
What
the thing,
we
right?
need
These guys
is the new
have spent
technology
billions of
and
dollars
innovation.
on roads of national significance.
Nicola.
Let's explore what's happening in transport, which is automated vehicles, which is big bendy
Oh,
buses, which is more seismically resistant.
Smoking pot.
This is a city where we have earthquakes, and if you've got a big track laid down, I worry about how resilient
Look, if we
that
have
is.
an earthquake,
I
you
think we
have
need
bigger
to explore
problems
the
than
new
worrying
tech,
about the
not
tracks
just
from the
what the
railway
Greens were
station to the
looking at.
airport. I'll tell you that.
It's turning into a bun fight. Andy Foster, let's Winston Peters decide. Light rail, yes or no?
Look, at some stage it's going to be necessary because buses simply aren't going to be able to carry enough people. So we are going to need to get there, and we need to start planning that
That's
now.
a yes. You know what, Ben? I love my trains. You jump on a train and you feel like you're going somewhere, eh?
I absolutely love trains. The party who promises the most trains gets my vote.
Yes.
We've got trains in
Oh,
Auckland.
God. Hey, look, hashtag backbenchers with an ES. Stay with us because the quiz is next.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.